Number 160 in the Radiance range is The Dancing Hawk from 1977, directed by Grzegorz Królikiewicz, who did an earlier title in the Radiance range, which was Through and Through. And I really feel grateful that I got to see that movie first. I had a little bit of expectations going into this of what it was going to be. Now, it's a kind of simple story. It follows Michael, a working class man who is determined to climb the social ladder. He gets an education. He leaves his small town, and through a further education, a reinvention, and by sheer force of will, he transforms himself into someone societally better in his eyes, at least on the surface. But every step upward comes at a cost for Michael. And as he sheds his past and his identity begins to fracture, what starts as a story of ambition slowly becomes something more unsettling, the portrait of a man losing himself in the pursuit of success. Now that sounds like a kind of typical story. You can understand what's going to come, and using the thematics and politics of the time and the time of era that it covers, it crams a lot into it. The most fascinating part of The Dancing Hawk is the visceral aspect of it, the look of the film, the sound of the film. It is not your typical kind of production. You have a typical story, but it's told in a really different way. It's very visual, and the auditory is just as unique.
Michał Toporny, przodujący student. Do niedawna małorolny chłop z Rzeszowszczyzny. Budujemy nowy ład na nowych ludziach.
It has this really unusual style of telling a story, and I really like what the director does here. You know, I liked it in Through, and I like it here. It is very different. It focuses on unique abstract sounds. It cuts wildly from sequence to sequence. It's extreme close-ups. It's far away. There's an absurdism to the way this is put together, but it's all really conveyed in a very visual sense, which I really appreciate when we get to this film.
No co, udało nam się Staszka umieścić w internacie.
And although the narrative is, pretty simple, this isn't linear or straightforward. Scenes feel fragmented. Sometimes they're abrupt. They force the viewer to engage actively, to keep track of everything that's going on, to try and piece together the mystery that's happening in front of our screen. There is an unusual use of space and framing that is really interesting. Characters feel boxed in, they're distorted or out of place, skewed in an unusual way. It's not an easy watch, and it's one of those films that can feel alienating, but it's entirely intentional with the film. And I think if you just sit back and go with it, don't rebel against it, you'll find something really different and interesting. It's unusual, to say the least. I enjoyed the performances, I enjoyed the production, but more than that, I enjoyed the editing, the sound mixing, the way the thing was put together, the way it takes a familiar story, which I feel I've seen before, but tells it in a wholly unique way, which is, wow, just shocking. Is the film great? I don't know if I can quite get there. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely something that expands my film knowledge, that tries to do something different, and I think succeeds in what it's doing. Very off kilter, very strange and very fitting with Through and Through. I'd be interested to see more from this director. But another 6 months away, I watch another one of his movies. They're exhausting in a really kind of influential way, I would say. Let's dive into the disc and have a look at the extras. Here we are in the disc for The Dancing Hawk. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have Carmen Gray. Critic Carmen Gray situates The Dancing Hawk in the context of director Grzegorz Królikiewicz's career and the political landscape of post-war Poland, illuminating the film's powerful style and its social themes, recorded exclusively for Radiance in November 2025. And this runs for 16 minutes 23 seconds. Then we have short films by the cinematographer of this film. Celebrated cinematographer received the Best Animated Short Film Oscar for Tango in 1982 and shot Gerald Cargill's Angst in the same year. We present here two other short films he directed at Polish animation studio Sema 4. There is Soup, which runs for 8 minutes 38 seconds, a colourful and experimental portrait of the maddening rituals and hypnotic routines of married life, and Oh I Can't Stop, which is just over 10 minutes. This surreal and comedic short film is shot from the point of view of an unseen monster/camera who runs through everything and everyone at increasing speed, and was probably my favourite of the extras on here. Also included in this set is a 22-page booklet with one essay on it, The Dancing Hawk, Królikiewicz's plebeian and multi-dimensional Citizen Kane by Piotr Klutowski, which is a really fun read, taking a little excerpt of an interview at the start, conversation, and then expanding it into the sort of thematics and history and the influence that this film had. That's the extras for The Dancing Hawk. So there we have it, The Dancing Hawk. It is a challenging, visually striking film about ambition, identity, and self-destruction. It's not here to entertain in a traditional sense. It's here to unsettle, to provoke, and to linger. And I think it does that really well. Very, very unusual film, but yeah, well worth checking out. I'd love to know your thoughts on The Dancing Hawk. Let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, or fall somewhere in the middle. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.